It was just a quick clip, or so I thought. I'd been going through old files, cleaning up my hard drive, purging the junk that accumulated over years. There it was, an unnamed, time-stamped video tucked away in a folder I didn't remember making. Short, only 13 seconds long. I clicked it. The video started with static, then, my living room. Dimensions slightly off, like the perspective was too high. A low mechanical hum threaded through the audio. I was there, on the couch, scrolling on my phone, unaware of the camera. The timestamp matched a night from 2 months ago. I had no memory of any recording that night. Then the footage glitched. Just once. The screen shuddered, the hum deepened. My face in the video blurred at the edges. When the distortion cleared, I was gone. The room stayed still for a moment, empty. Then something moved at the edge of the frame, a shadow. Not a person, not quite. It slid into the room, smooth, tall, its shape warping subtly as though it was passing through dimensions, not space. It turned toward the camera. Its face was a smear of static and darkness, a negative impression of features. It watched just long enough for me to feel seen. The clip ended. I sat frozen, heart hammering, a thin chill threading up my spine. I hovered over the delete button, but I didn't press it. Instead, I scrubbed back and watched again, and again. Each time the shadow seemed more distinct, its shape less ambiguous, almost familiar. Its head tilted as though it was listening to me breathe, despite the clip being silent. I closed the window, left the file, told myself it was an anomaly, a glitch, a corrupted memory. That night I heard the hum, not from my laptop, from the walls. Faint at first, like the distant rumble of an old CRT TV, then closer, louder. My lights flickered. I unplugged everything, checked every outlet. The hum persisted. I went to bed with the covers over my head, listening to it vibrate softly through the mattress. The next morning the file had duplicated. Now there were two, both identical in length but with different timestamps. The second one was dated for the night before. I hadn't filmed anything, but when I clicked it I saw myself, sleeping. The camera angle was from the ceiling, looking directly down at my bed. There was no camera there. The shadow was closer this time. It was at the foot of the bed, watching, waiting. When I paused the video, the shadow turned, subtly, as though reacting to my action. Its head inclined slightly toward the camera, toward me. I deleted the file. I thought I deleted it, but the next morning it was back. Not just one, but several, each with a new timestamp, each longer than the last, each one showing me, going about my daily life, but with the shadow growing more present. In the kitchen, in the hallway, standing just inside the bathroom door while I brushed my teeth. It wasn't confined to the screen anymore. I saw it when I turned around too quickly. Felt its gaze prickling the back of my neck. The hum followed me everywhere, whispers threading through white noise, tapping against the edges of my thoughts. I tried wiping the drive, reformatting, destroying the laptop. The files came back, in my phone, my TV, reflections, dream fragments. One night I woke up with the hum resonating in my bones, vibrating softly through my teeth. My phone, face down on the nightstand, was glowing faintly. A new notification pulsed gently across the screen. Playback initiated. I picked it up. The screen showed a live feed of my room, of me, lying in bed holding the phone, but from behind me. The shadow loomed just out of reach, its outline now unmistakable. Its edges solid, fingers too long, neck arched as though it was preparing to speak directly into my ear. I dropped the phone. When I looked back, the screen was dark, but the hum had shifted, warmer, more intimate. It wasn't broadcasting from the devices anymore. It was coming from inside me. I realized I'd been listening for days. My thoughts no longer sounded like my own. Words I didn't remember thinking echoed in my head, layered under my voice. The shadow was no longer waiting to appear, it was waiting to replace. I don't know if it was in the files first, or if the files just showed me what was always there. All I know is I should have deleted that footage the first time. Now every time I close my eyes, I see it playing back. And when I try to scream, the voice that answers isn't mine. I thought I could stop it. After the last message, the final file with the date set for tomorrow, I convinced myself there had to be a way to undo it. I unplugged the power in the apartment, yanked every fuse, plunged myself into complete darkness. No electronics, no light, no sound except for the hammer of my own heart. But the hum didn't stop. It didn't even waver. It pressed deeper, threading through the walls like roots growing in fast motion. It sank into the floor beneath my feet, up through my spine into the hollows of my skull. My thoughts trembled under its weight. I realized too late that the hum wasn't in the devices, it wasn't transmitted, it wasn't a signal, it was a seed. Planted long ago. Maybe since I first opened that file, maybe since before. I sat in the dark for hours listening to the hum deepen into words. Not spoken words, but patterns, impressions of speech, like something was shaping my mind from the inside, nudging it toward a shape that wasn't mine. Ready? A single word, clear, immediate, whispered directly into the marrow of my bones. The power flickered back on by itself. Lights hummed back to life. My phone powered up, screen bright with a single notification. Now! I don't remember picking it up. My hands moved without permission, tapping the folder labeled Final. The video opened on its own. It was me. Not live, not past. Tomorrow. I was sitting on the couch, hands folded neatly in my lap. The apartment was too quiet, no hum, no ambient noise. Just a heavy, anticipatory silence. The camera panned slowly to the left, revealing the window. On the other side of the glass stood a shadow, no longer formless. It was shaped exactly like me, same posture, same clothing, same hair, but darker, paler. Its eyes were wrong. They were deep, endless wells of static, shimmering with the faint suggestion of faces. Not reflections, but recordings. Like it had absorbed every version of me from the footage. The me in the video stood and walked to the window. The shadow did the same, their movements synchronized perfectly. A gentle knock, skin against glass. Then my recorded self opened the window. The shadow stepped inside. As it crossed the threshold, the footage trembled, colors bleeding, details smearing into nothing. But before the image dissolved completely, I saw it lean in, pressing its face against mine, whispering something I couldn't hear but felt vibrate through the screen. The video ended with a flicker of static and a line of text. Recording has been merged. Live feed active. The screen went dark. My reflection in the black surface of the phone was not alone. It stood just behind me, visible only when I wasn't looking directly. A faint shimmer like heat distortion, only sharper, more aware. Its hand hovered inches from my shoulder. I dropped the phone. The hum deepened. It was no longer a background noise, it was a heartbeat resonating through the floor, the walls, my own pulse. It filled the air like a low chant, each vibration pressing the world flatter, grayer. I staggered toward the door. It wouldn't open. The knob refused to turn even as I threw my weight against it. The windows were dark from the outside, like looking into a cave. The walls pressed closer, subtly at first, then more insistently. The hum resolved into a voice. My voice. Perfectly mirrored. You were always the recording. Now you're the tape. I felt something press into my back. Cool, heavy, like a hand settling into my spine. My breath caught. My vision rippled. You've always been the subject. You're ready to merge. I screamed. Not aloud, in my head. It echoed back, twisted deeper until I wasn't sure which voice was mine and which was the one whispering from inside me. I opened my eyes. I was on the couch, hands folded neatly in my lap. The window was open, the shadow was gone. I checked my phone. It was blank. No apps, no files, no folders. Just the camera, open, recording. Live feed, channel 0. There was no longer a distinction between me and the recording. I feel it moving inside my thoughts, guiding my gestures, shaping my words. My reflection no longer waits to follow me, it moves first. When I close my eyes, I see the final file playing in endless loop. Tomorrow is already here. I'm just waiting for the moment the rest of me catches up.